About 2 years ago, I bought something that turned out to be crucial in transforming the often painful video editing process. No, it's not Bertie here, as he probably slows things down. And also, he's been with me almost 17 years. Now I'm going to show you what they are, as well as the new versions and my editing workflow, which I hope will help you in the way that you edit. I have a powerful editing setup in my office with bays of large capacity, fast hard drives. Well, I thought they were fast, but they often get bogged down when the edits get more complicated with multiple video layers, frequently making editing torture. I also have the added problem of frequently needing to edit the projects on my laptop if I need to go away from home, which means using small portable USB hard drives, which are big enough for the projects. The problem is they are slow to edit from, often painfully slow. I've been waiting for portable SSDs, solid state drives, to reach that capacity without breaking the bank for years. My project sizes vary depending on what the subject is. Camera reviews tend to be huge ones with lots of test footage. My Sony a7S III review was about 7 terabytes, for example. My videos for my one-man 5 cats channel, especially the self-cleaning litter box ones, were also very large due to filming those machines 24/7 for often 2 weeks at a time, and those are typically around 3.5 terabytes in size each. But on average, my projects are about 2 terabytes or slightly more. I've bought numerous portable SSDs over the years, but they're all 1 to 2 terabytes, so not big enough. Okay for some things, but not for most of my projects. Then about 2 years ago, I came across these, the crucial X6 4 terabyte SSD, which was exactly what I've been waiting for. Small, fast, large capacity, and affordable. These totally changed my workflow. The X6 SSDs became the master project drives, which made going from editing in the main edit suite to the laptop effortless. Well, I still had to unplug the drive and then plug it into the laptop, but mostly effortless. And with the rather huge bonus, it's way faster to edit using these. No more hard drives getting bogged down. I now own 4 of them, and I've always got more than one project on the go at any given time. In fact, I was just about to buy another one when an email popped into my inbox with the most perfect timing. Hi Philip, would you like to make a sponsored video about Crucial's new X9 Pro and X10 Pro SSDs? Yes please. And when they asked me, they didn't even know just how much of an impact the X6 SSDs had on my workflow. Both the X9 Pro and X10 Pro are tiny. They are smaller than the already small X6 and have a metal housing, whereas the X6 is plastic. They feel very solid, well made, but also still very light. They come in 1, 2, or 4 terabytes and are faster than the X6. The X10 Pro is twice as fast as the X9 Pro. But the catch is, to get that max speed from this, you're going to need a computer with a compatible port. Otherwise, you're going to get the same speed as the X9 Pro, which is still fast, just not as fast as this one. It needs USB 3.2x2. I think that's how you say it. The Thunderbolt 4 ports on my Macs are only compatible with USB 3.2 Gen 2, such catchy names, and below, despite being capable of speeds of up to 40 gigabits per second. And none of my Windows laptops have the fast USB ports either. But they are out there, I just don't have any computers with it. So I wasn't able to get the benefit from the massive speed increase the X10 Pro has over the X9 Pro. This is the project folder for my video on my recently released Bloom Gold Diffusion optical filters. The offloads folder is the first one I generally create, with subfolders for each day and location with more subfolders for each camera, card or device. To copy my files from the media to the SSD, I just simply drag and drop. There's some great software out there which will do fancy things like error checking, but I just do it the simple way. I trust myself not to screw it up, which I think is generally what happens, you know, not screwing up, I think. Yeah, I don't think I've screwed up for a while. Oh. It'll be fine if you manually check each copy before moving on to the next card. Doesn't take long to do. I also have enough media, so it's a good few days before I need to use those cards again if I have somehow made a mistake. But thankfully that is very, 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 very rare. Very rare. One of the golden rules of offloading is to have enough media for the day. At least the day. I generally would recommend 2 days. Not offloading your media during the shoot and then formatting over because you don't have enough, because if you screw it up, which is quite possibly going to be happening because you've got other things to worry about, as in the shoot, then you are screwed. So yeah, at least 1 day. Do that. You've got to be really safe with this because it is, this is the stuff you've been hired to do, or just doing for fun anyway. If you've got a DIT, which I almost never have, who's going to be offloading for you, I still would recommend at least 1 day, just in case they screw up. Another golden rule is don't offload to 1 drive. In fact, I recommend offloading to 3 drives. Only one of them is to the crucial SSD though. I simply don't have enough of them for that. Using software called Carbon Copy Cloner, I clone the SSD project folder onto 2 additional hard drives. The portable hard drives that I have, which I set to run overnight, every night during the post-production period. This copying to hard drives is so slow. This software is fantastic and has never let me down. I still use Premiere as my main NLE. In that folder, I keep my project files and all the audio and video previews. Autosaves should never be on the main project drive, just in case. My autosaves go into my Dropbox folder, which is on the main computer drive, which goes up to, the internet. If you want to know how I edit, basically the entire process, then check out my courses on MZ, especially my most recent one called Filmmaking for Photographers. Episode 6 is a 2-hour deep dive into editing and is mostly platform agnostic. When a project is finished, what then? Well, I keep it on my SSD for at least a week or so, actually just until I need that space back. Make sure I have a backup, which is exactly the clone, the copy. I used to have 2 copies of the entire project, but I've stopped doing that now. It's just too expensive and taking up too much space in my home. What I do instead is I consolidate the project within Premiere onto a separate hard drive. This copies just what's used in the edit and disregards everything else. So I normally get about 4 or 5 consolidated projects onto one 5 terabyte hard drive. I'll always make sure there's 2 copies of the consolidated project, as that is the most important stuff. It's the footage that you've used. I do have 1 single one of the entire project, so it's still basically 3 copies of it. So I feel that I cover myself. Look, backing up is just so important. So in choosing which of these to buy, well, obviously the capacity, that comes down to what you want. 4 terabytes are fantastic, but some people may find the smaller ones will suit them. But it is that X9 Pro or X10 Pro. If you're a Mac user like me, is there going to be compatibility with it at some point through the Thunderbolt 4? Well, I don't think there will be, but maybe, but probably not. That's why I will personally and have bought an additional X9 Pro. But if you're a Windows user, there's much more chance that you could benefit from the X10 Pro's double speed. But maybe you just like to buy the fastest thing possible. I mean, some people buy cars which can do 200 miles an hour top speed, and I'm pretty sure we can't go as fast as that on our UK roads. That's my analogy, and I'm going to stick with it. But no matter which one you go for, I think you're going to love them.